I think I'm losing my religion on the daily basis. Girl, I love it when you send me pictures of you naked. Swear your body like a work of art, that shit's amazing. Yeah, that pussy get wet just like oceans on vacation. And when I'm swimming in that thing, that's my meditation. Girl, pop that pussy like medication. I do a lot of things for you, inspiration. It's kinda hard to wait for you, but I'm patient. Them other niggas that you fucking with don't do it right. Gotta have you to myself because you all mine. Not the jealous type, I'm just saying I go hard for you like gold mines. Not a regular guy, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm one of a kind. So if you fucking with a nigga, just letting you know that I'm losing my religion.
Yeah. What? Yeah. It was never mine. It was never my religion to begin. Well, I guess it is. Man, I ain't gonna go into that, man. Yeah, that's losing my religion off the motherfucking Water God mixtape. Not like I'm a god or like I'm trying to be a I ain't trying to be a demon. More so just being who I am and stuff. I'm here to work and deal with emotions. So that's where I'm coming from as far as being in that summer pocket. My touchdown day, my born day is in 14 days and 2 weeks. So, first 7 days into summer is me. That's my first, you know what I'm saying? That's how I wanted to be seen. And then my moon sign is at 23 degrees. So I ain't nothing but nice beachy, wavy shit. You know what I'm saying? Good old beachy days and stuff. Good old warm summer days and stuff at the beach. You know what I'm saying? Go jump in the ocean. Barbecues. You name it. But yeah, fucking. So that's where I'm coming from. Like, I ain't never had a religion. And when I say losing my religion, I guess like I made that song in the kind of concept like I lost the part of me was indoctrinated maybe growing up. So that's like where the religion comes in, just being a part of like what other people are just doing for the sake of just not being with yourself. So like, demons love to be called God. You know what I'm saying? That's a demon. That's like a bunch of spirits that get lost into their own minds, their own awarenesses at whatever points, and forget that that's what they're doing. And you come here, you in a body and shit, and you think you the body or something like that you in. You might be scared to die and shit, because you holding on to. It's like you doing too much. You a demon, like you're not God. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You really supposed to be a vessel to let life flow through you, not you attaching yourself to all these things flowing through you. So this is some shit. The point of this video is gonna be about though. Let's see, we ain't there yet. I'm just gonna chop it up for a few more minutes or some shit. So yeah, that whole religion should just be a big old like group, big old legion pack, spirits that create thoughts and feelings or minds that they get trapped in and they don't know how to get out of. So they just be stuck. And they just like need somebody to lead them. And it's like if you a group of, or it's more so like just getting it. So it's like we all kind of doing this to some degree. It's just really, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So like one aspect, the teamwork makes the dream work. That's what's going on. Like that's a great spirit. You you ain't here by you ain't. It's not just you here. You know, it took other spaces other than just your sum of spaces, because your space ain't just one space. It's like your space is made up of space, multiple spaces. So it's like space is a space within space. So you could be relative to yourself all day. Because I'm gonna start getting into this. All right, spirit is just space. Shout out to Dolo Pile, man. Your spirit is just your space. And out of these spaces, you derive or you create. Being a creator, a creator, you create different creeds. You know what I mean? Like different creeds, like crays, crayons, different colors, different creeds, cray, crow, cry, crew, creed. Hey ho, hi who, he. You know, you create different like lights and awarenesses, and then these things kind of cool off, because initially it's like you just have maybe the spark, the initial just spark of awareness, and then like it cools off. And there's more to that. There's like more to that as far as the alchemy process, but pretty much just like crashing thoughts and feelings together, and two atmospheres come together and create a new world or a new body. Pardon me. So like how you here now in a body with all these organs and shit, this is how you know like you're in a more less. You're in a, I hate to say less, but you're in a more like compacted, more concentrated. You're in a more like crushed, condensed form of you. But this ain't you. Like this ain't your first form. So that's where people get lost. So that's where the whole like religion shit be like. That was a thing. Like the spirits first was close to God and shit. That know that like I'm separate because I'm not with the Great Spirit, and the Great Spirit gave you this awareness. But I guess in at some point in existence, before you fully become into existence, you kind of like don't exist. But it's like you do though, but you don't. So it's like you got your own awareness. Got like the Great Spirit gave you your own peace, so you could be at peace and not just be non-existent. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a piece, like, oh, okay, this is my space. And then boom, then that's like you creating a soul, your solo awareness. And I got my own individual space or spaces, and I know what I want in and out of my space. So therefore, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're creating our own bodies and our own worlds and shit. It's like God gave us this ability to be like our own mini God, but you're not supposed to get lost into like that concept, because like I hate that word to call it God, but like we all got a creative ability. So it's like there's nothing wrong with you being a creator. It's just how you go about that, your creative process, what you use your abilities for is what you kind of like. I don't want to say you getting tested, but it's like you always just creating your own reality, your own bodies and stuff. So like whatever you doing, how you go about it, more so how you go about it is with how you creating your next body to be. A lot of people fail to like. A lot of people just not into this. They was never into this type of shit. Like, so they maybe still here. They might be a newer, you know what I'm saying? Like they still a path on the human trail, the human experience, where maybe somebody like me or others, it's like we already did this a few times. So we actually came here like as a group to probably be more like to assist the human race. I'm not really a human. I never thought I was like, I'm not an alien either, but I'm here though. But I never thought like I was just like, it was just a regular day. I ain't never had a regular day in my life. Since the day I can remember being aware of some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to go into me, bro. Like, but so yeah, it's like you're creating minds, you're creating awarenesses, you're creating these bodies, you're creating these thoughts and feelings, these atoms and Eves. You know what I mean? And then like, what's that? The motherfucking. That'd be like your son of God or your God body. It's like I ain't gonna go into the whole ins and outs of shit. The main point of where I'm going with this is, it's like everybody know they got it's like you got your own awareness. Here's the thing: it's like an awareness ain't just whether you think you a man or a woman. You get what I'm saying? Like we all both have these. We got masculine and feminine qualities. Like just to breathe. You get it? Like that's the receiving and pushing out. Feminine than that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's not get it fucked up. Like if you ain't doing this shit every day. Otherwise you wouldn't be aware. Like so it's like that's like what we're going through right now. Just different states of looking at awareness. Saturn being in Aries and shit, or the Red Falcon. But where I'm going with this is the matter of the holy kind of proversation. I'm done saying conversation because why are you trying to con me? You know what I mean? It's like, what's the con? So we trying to move forward. We trying to be productive. We trying to produce, be proactive. So I'm saying switching any cons to pros. You know what I mean? Like why? I guess you need kind of both. You get what I'm saying? There's a time for you get it. That's kind of like what I'm saying too. It's not just, it's a balance here, the equilibrium. So it's not just like let's just get rid of fucking conversation, because sometimes you do got to go back and kind of con and go kind of regress because there's certain things that ain't been talked about. But you know what I'm saying? This is a matter of proversation or both. I'm doing both, like the conduct and the product. You get it? It's not just like having a product, and it's not just about only being the person with the conductive ability or the conduct, the policy or some shit, how to go about the order, the structure, the conduct. So it's not about the conduct or the just getting lost in the product of what you producing or what you like pro doing. So you got conduits, and then you got produits. Produit probably is like the protege. You know what I mean? Like, but the proversation that where I'm going with this is a matter of that's pretty much what I'm talking about. Like everybody got their own like solo. You got your own holy. So it's like by default, everybody created their own hail, their own halal. Shout out to Dole upon that. So everybody created like their own like holy, their own holy. So that's like knowing you got your own soul, your own whole. All right, and that goes into the scene that I'm kind of referring to as far as the Batman movie, and a lot of that shit has to do with like you being in this tunnel kind of concept, and then like it's like we be creating awarenesses, but then get lost into them. So it'd be black, you know what I mean? And then it's like it's not about creating another light outside of that. Like you got to deal with that darkness first. But people be like, all right, let me just keep giving life, keep creating life or something, like having some light at the end of the tunnel, like being hopeful about shit, or like holding on to some. It's like it's some deep shit where like you got this idea outside of you, this awareness or this mind that you either was like you received from somebody else's mind, or this is something you came up with, being lost in your own shit. And spirits be like, it's like this kind of this mentality of a spirit being in search and being lost in their own darkness, their own hell, their own hole. You know what I mean? So like, just to go into the Batman scene and shit. Bro started out the movie like super weak. You know what I mean? Like having all that money and comfortability. Like I don't know. He started like doing like he was. It's always like the government telling on themselves, but the character Bruce Wayne, he was like being pervy and shit. Like in the house, he wasn't going out and shit. He was just like hiding in the house, probably all depressed. Maybe there'd be these little like repeat parties and shit. He might do a partying or something, but like most of the time, I guess he was just like ducking. He was ducked off in the house. So he was like, he wasn't really in a cool, like his natural purpose as a man. I'm just gonna kind of fast forward. Then like the Bane shit happened. So that's a part of him because Bane, everything's like representing like all these characters are just different parts of the main protagonist. So motherfucking Bruce Wayne is like dealing with him a part of himself that's like that he might have like gave too much energy to. So it's like this insecurity because Bane had a mask on. I'm not gonna go into all the ins and outs of that, but this Bane was buff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Bruce, he was dealing with some type of thought, some internal thought, some type of insecurity or some shit, and it might have been maybe some type of rebellious kind of nature or something, or like just you go watch the movie, all the qualities of Bane, but that was like some shit he was dealing with internally, and then Bane whooped his ass, right? If y'all remember, like he went to go try to maybe confront Bane, kind of like in the early stages of the movie, and then Bane whooped his ass in the like little sewer and shit, whooped his ass. So he got all broken and defeated and shit, but he was already in that energy. You know what I'm saying? Because he fell off his purpose, being in the house and shit and all depressed for however long he was in the house, and he kind of like people were like, "Where's Batman at?" Da 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 da. Like he stopped being Batman and shit for a minute. You know what I'm saying? He was going through like probably like a midlife crisis type of like, you know what I'm saying? He hit a wall type of shit. So he was like, damn, like he was questioning himself, like, damn, am I even Batman anymore? Like that kind of shit. First of all, fuck Batman. We like way beyond these. These are all like native hobbyism, cosplaying type of concepts and shit. But anyways, for the sake of what I'm talking about here, fuck it, yeah. So bro was all broken and defeated. Got kicked down the drain. I remember like somehow he ended up. I think they captured it or somewhere. He ended like flowing down a river. Something happened, bro, where he ended up though in the jail in that hole. It was like a big old like hole of a jail in the ground. And it was people there, like other prisoners. It was a prison. It was like a prison and shit. Somewhere in like Russia or Serbia or somewhere and shit. Over there in Arab, somewhere over there in the east. And they had bro, he was in the cell and shit. He was on lockdown. But he was all broken and defeated. His body was all fucked up. Spine was all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even move. He was just laying there. He was stiff, you know what I mean? He was like damn it, pretty much dead, like but without being dead. Fully, you know what I mean? So it's like trapped in your own body. You know, he created a mind that he got trapped in. It was broken. You know what I'm saying? It was like outdated, weak, frail. Like he probably needed. So he was like going through this like tearing tower moment, tearing himself down, and then he knew he was gonna have to like rebuild himself back up because as he's in there, all right, so like maybe some of the other little people was in there and shit helping him out and shit like that, trying to help him heal and stuff. So he was, you know, he was at the point where he had to heal. He had to get back to basics. You know what I'm saying? He had to really like get to the root of some shit. However long he was in there, months, a year, however long he was healing and shit, right? So he finally healed and shit. And then in that process, and you know, he was also like watching other people make these attempts because it'd be yeah, everybody in this hole and shit, but they give everybody an opportunity to like, if you could climb out, you could climb out. It's just great. Otherwise, you just in there for the rest of your time. Like they're not gonna let you. They're not letting you out. It was like that kind of prison. That's crazy. And a lot of niggas were like, you have a rope option or you could do it without the rope. So anybody that was doing it with the rope was fucking. They usually failed at like a certain step. They wasn't reaching past like a gap. There was like too much distance that they couldn't get to the next step or that next part that they, you know what I'm saying, to keep continuing until they fucking let go or like do it without the rope was holding a lot of niggas back. It was like a safety net. It was like a comfortability. A lot of niggas was scared to die and shit, so they just be using the rope. But if they automatically is like they falling because something about having that rope or it was something about the rope that you just wasn't gonna get across with the rope on around you. You know what I mean? Because it was like just the way you moving or like it was a momentum. It was a science to that. So it was a mental thing too. Like nigga, if you scared to die, nigga, it's like you already dead for real. You're not living life no more. You might as well just stay in the prison. Like if you trying to get out the hole and you need a rope to save you. That's like a Jesus concept, like you know what I'm saying? Like all right, I'm gonna jump, I'm gonna take a leap of faith, but I got this mental crutch. So like, you know what I'm saying? If I don't make it, then I know I'm gonna fall and be okay. Like, no, dude, like that's not even life. You get what I'm saying? That's not even life. That's a whole insecurity. That's a whole synthetic like mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of the people that try to jump with the rope that wasn't getting out. He wasn't either. He made a bunch of attempts with the rope on. He was like struggling. So he was like, you know, working out and shit, trying to get more improved. Like, so he just kept getting like, just wasn't making it. And then one finally, all right. So let me go into before I get lost into this shit. So just being in the hole itself, like each person there, like that whole experience would even be a world the motherfuckers is experiencing as like a team. You get it? It's like it's a hell. It's a hole. It's a hell. A hell. Hey, 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 hi, ho, hue, heat. So you got hey, ho, and then the by default that makes that like that triune trigonometry triangle where you get that high point, and then that makes like it's 3 points, but by default you get a fourth point. It makes a square. So you like that's really like the circle, triangle, square is like one thing. I'm not gonna go into all that. But like, just creating a hole though, yo. Like we're creating bodies and shit. We're creating minds. So it's like if you dug a hole too deep, and here you are in this reality, and you don't like. It's like you don't know how to get out of yourself. That's the point. Like that's where you need to do some type of shadow work or some type of internal realization to kind of look at yourself spiritually in the mirror. Like, okay, how did I get to this point? You get it? So that's like what Batman did, or that's what they, you know, the Masons and shit, Jews, the Jesuits, you know, these niggas like they probably got a book somewhere in the Vatican where they got a bunch of ideas and they just like, you know what I'm saying? But all this shit is like cosplaying the Indians and shit back in the day, some hundreds of years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago. I'm not gonna go into all that. Like Batman is probably like, I know it has to do with I ain't gonna go into all that. Bats represent like hiding and shit, things being unseen, like dark kind of concepts, which is nothing more than just lights becoming heavy, too much light or too much accumulation, and not knowing how to separate your colors creates that black hole concept because you like it's like you don't know how to create that rainbow where you got each desire, each color has its own lane, and you don't smear them, or you at least know how to like maneuver them and sync them and align them in a certain way or blend them. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not too much smearing going on, too much mixing. So for example, like say a dude want to talk to a girl and say he want to, you know, he like get in a relationship with a female. So that's on his mind. That's the intent. He want to be in a relationship with, he want to have a girlfriend or something, or a woman. You know, but so say he go talk to this girl and his starting point was to be in a relationship, like he likes her or something, right? He wanted to make her his girlfriend. Now, say he get the girl and shit, and then say he start doing things that go against that intent, such as like maybe looking at other girls, which might be one of his desires. He might just have a desire of curiosity, you know, being curious or something, or just that wandering eye, or like, or just not even that, just maybe it's a business, maybe just in business. You know what I mean? He might look at his business associates a certain way or something, his business partners, which might be some beautiful ladies or something, right? But then that might his girlfriend might know that and shit like that, and see him one day, you know, maybe she go to work to pick him up or something or some shit. She bring him lunch, and most likely she bringing him food or something, and then fucking it's kind of a dumb example, but Then he like she pull up, bring the lunch, see him in the lobby or something. He got, you know what I'm saying? They see each other, and then like he might look at it might be one of the females that he might have, like it's a whole bunch of shit, but y'all kind of get what I'm saying if y'all like into this. Whoever's gonna watch this, like you'll understand like what I'm saying. Like it's the desire thing. He might just like talking to that person that's a beautiful lady at work, and they might have a cool like business relationship, but he might have mixed, didn't not knowing astrology, not knowing shit and alignments and like just how life works and how light, the language of light and how light bends in on itself, and just awareness itself. Like he might not have been aware of how that might look, or just that situation. Like why don't even create that situation for yourself to begin with when you could have just known like, okay, this is just my girlfriend. I'm not gonna make her nothing else other than that. She's not gonna be my secretary that brings me lunch. She's not my friend that's you know what I mean? She's not my coworker. Yeah, she's not. She don't like. I don't even want her to know where I work. Type of shit to some degree. Or like nothing wrong with Linda, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like no, I don't even want you to know the address. I don't even want you pulling up at my business, at my place where I'm doing business or doing work. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's like you know what I'm saying. You don't mix. You don't. It's like you don't mix shit with shit. You know, you don't mix this with that, and then now you got this new thing called a fucking Reese's ice cream. Like now they're doing cereal based ice cream. Like now you got like Frosted Flakes ice cream. Like what the fuck are we like? You know what I'm saying? Like nigga, you should have just left ice cream, and you should have left the cereal, the Frosted Flakes, the Frosted Flakes. When you start bringing things together that don't belong in the same world, and you think they do, or you think they like that's gonna be a cool blend or a cool add-on, that's where you got to meet your maker type shit. You get it? So in that context, like dude should have like he shouldn't have even had that desire of wanting his girlfriend to show up and bring him lunch. Or if he did want like a girlfriend to bring him lunch, he should be maybe somewhere where it's his own private, like his own business, where it ain't no like you know what I'm saying. That might have been too. Maybe he just like that might be an individual that just maybe like just likes to talk at work. You know what I'm saying? Might have a lot of relationships at work or business partnerships. You know, like work and business. Like it's what you know what I'm saying? You there and shit. You trying to be relatable and stuff. You might not like necessarily give a fuck about these people, but for the sake of doing your tasks and getting paid and shit, doing your job, doing your job and shit. Date of birth. Um, it's like you know what I'm saying. It's like why mix? Why bring your girlfriend to work? It's like you know what I'm saying. Why bring your kids to work? Now that's probably a better example. Like that's like somebody getting a job and then not telling nobody, and then they bring they fucking kids and shit, and then the boss is like, hey, you can't have your kids here and shit, and they're making noise and shit, or whatever. They might be their distraction to some degree, and then you might be like, you know what I'm saying, and that could be a whole scenario in itself that could have been avoided. You know what I mean? So now you got people looking at you like, okay, well, why did he bring his kids to work? Does he not have a place for them? Or it's like all kind of shit could go off of just that. So it's just like knowing how to separate your colors and shit. So going back into the black hole concept. So it's like people be creating these. It's like this is how you here today. I'm talking about my damn self. This is how I'm here. But just looking at your body, you can see how much of a hell or how much of a hole you created for yourself. So we could see like around, we could look around like because this is a world that we all teamwork makes the dream work made, participating together, having certain desires, certain thoughts and feelings. So this world itself that we call an earth and shit or whatever the case may be, or just even being in this man-made. It's like all right, we got nature, and then you got the man-made synthetic shit like Walmarts and shit now. But both of these things stem like nature is at the end of the day what is going on. So for us as anybody that's born here and you create bodies and shit, we all like got shared desires and shit. It's an eighth house type of qualities. Shared resources and shit, shared, you know, shared values and shit, shared desires, shared deaths, shared lives, shared possessions, objects, shared deep intentions, deep willpowers, yeah, deep sexual urges and desires. Yeah, so it's like just the will to be born was like you had to like really will that into it, like into your reality, and however you did that is however you did that. All right, now let me like, cause I know I keep kind of going around and around a little bit. The point of this video is, this live is, so like individuals could be so much in their own whole, or they own holy, they own mind. So first it's like people be like, it seems like people be spiritually dormant, people be dead in eternal slumber. They ain't even fully aware. So they got at the moment a lot of beings or speakers. I don't even, this is some weird shit, but like you got a group of motherfuckers, quote unquote God, which is like the devil, the Lucifer motherfuckers that worship the flesh. They lost into a hole. I'm not even gonna go into this, but these niggas are sitting back somewhere doing they witchcraft on everybody and shit, right? So it takes people to believe this shit for it to work, but that's the, you got these niggas wherever they at, they doing, that's the world that they created. That this is the world they created, the synthetic shit, right? After they had to get rid of the natives. I'm not even trying to go into that, but so a lot of the shit be like native shit. I'm not even trying to go into that. The point of what I'm saying is, like everybody got their own whole, they own holy, they own hell that you making. Just you. And teamwork makes the dream work. So just for us all to be here with the type of the situation that we currently experiencing, it like, you know what I'm saying? It shows like where each space was at a given moment. In the, like esoterically, like in turn, like how we doing this shit spiritually first, because it's layers to this shit. This ain't the end all be all out here. This external shit. So like each person in their own pocket, you know what I mean? And that's like a sum of spaces that might be trapped or into whatever. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's like we in a world. It's like people don't even be really even relating for real. So first of all, most people already in the shadow government type of mentality, like going along, like they people are just absorbed and wrapped up in this concept. There are men and women in the world with dollar bills and shit and policies and pens and paper, and they gotta like they had to watch the natives and shit and steal everything from the natives just to be anything today. But yet people are like, people know and probably intuitively that us just as a collective, like we all make, like we make God. We supposed to be here to make God. It's not like one group by itself is God and then fuck everybody else. No, you just got a one group of people wherever they at that came and settled here, and then they got real comfortable and shit, and then they settled real hard, and then they started doing some real not cool shit, setting the land on fire, like all kind of shit, creating. Man, I'm not gonna go into all that. That's a whole goddamn whole of itself. That it's like seemed like the world's still stuck in and hasn't gotten out of for the past 300 years. Because history just keeps repeating. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody's still trying to use the rope. Everybody still got this mental crutch concept, like, oh, I'm not moving forward without this rope, or without this with this. Oh, I'm not letting go of this. Oh, I'm not letting go of that. So it's like spirit. It's like, yeah, there's like this weird attachment quality in the world that spirits have. Like, I guess this is just something that's been going on for some time, where people just be getting lost. Like, spirits just get lost. You know what I mean? Space is this, like space. So it's like if you was space that you forgot the ability, or like you forgot somewhere down the line that this is what you do, and you're not the mind, because that's what's going on. It's like you think you're your mind, and then you just listening. Really, you listening to somebody else's mind, aka somebody else's God, and they think they worldview, they mentality, they thoughts and feelings, they Adam and Eve, they look at that shit like they shit is the hardest shit, and everybody needs to bow down to them kind of qualities and shit. British kind of man, and you know what I'm saying, foreigner man, washy who man, you know, monopoly man, you know what I'm saying. But none of these people, they don't got none of your best interests for real. They just trying to build their world up. They weak, and the only reason why they got a world to build up, it's synthetic. It's like they trying to copy and remix what the natives was actually doing. Millions of tribes of bands, like, you know, millions of people, like bands of tribes of people, like the creatures of the land, the bears, the sea, the ocean, the rivers, the mountains coming. You know, that was like all done with the native. That's all the spirit of the native, the indigenous spirit here. You know what I'm saying? You ain't having a human without the eagle, without the ladybug, without the goddamn the tree with the branch. Like, you're not having just some motherfucker by themselves in a world where they think they God and that's it. Is you insane? You must be insane, because we didn't, like, motherfuckers didn't go nowhere. The Indian spirit didn't go nowhere. If anything, you just, like, y'all blew it up and made it bigger. You know what I mean? I think that's what they starting to realize, but that's besides the point. But yeah, everybody, like, I'm just gonna wrap it up because I got like too much battery left. I ain't trying to sit here too long and shit. People be in their own hole and shit. I got 2 points, so I'm just wrapping this point up about the holy, holy, holy. So it's like, if it's always like this holy, holy, and then you create, you know what I'm saying? It's like boom, boom, boom. I hate to say 1, 2, 3, but like 1 + 1 = 3. It's like there's always this boom, boom, boom. This triangle kind of concept, right? Not to get lost in Trinitarianism or none of that shit. But this is what we do. Like, you being the tour that sits at the peak, you know what I mean? And you have a this side and you have a this side. And really, these are just two sides of the same thing that you be being, and be as you an observer, you be making these. It's like you making these bodies. You know what I'm saying? These shapes and forms for you to jump in at some point and give life to. That's really what that's all space does. Like, you just create thoughts and feelings that collide them, atmospheres and shit. You jump in this body, atmosphere, mind. This awareness you just emitted, and you wanna experience what you just imagined and what you just internally believed in and had faith in. And you want to, like, push it, express it out, and you want to, like, jump back. You know, jump back in it, and, like, swim around in it, see what it's like. Like, ooh, oh, okay. You know, because it's one thing to visualize it and have the idea. The fire is one thing to imagine it, but it's like you want to jump in it to feel it also, and give it some type of, you know what I'm saying? Give it some type of some motion. Otherwise, it would have just stayed like a bright light. I don't want to use that as a reference, but it would stay just an idea, and it probably, like, maybe fizzle out or sizzle out at some point, and it would just fade away. Like, you know what I'm saying? That initial spark. But if you give it, kind of hold on to it. That's like you kind of slowing it down, kind of giving it a container, giving it a body, you know, some type of a seal type of thing, a cup. So it's like, if you don't know how to make a cup, you're screwed. But we can help you out, though. We can help you make your own cup. You're not totally screwed. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to make a cup, though. So it's like having an idea, a seed, and then having the correct, like, dirt or the mud. You know what I'm saying? The mud, or that. It's like water. It's really a fluid kind of concept. So it's not necessarily like you put in the actual physical, like, seed. With people, like, you know what I'm saying? Logically think it's a seed, and man, it's the cup. The cup is like the dirt, like the thing that's gonna hold and hold. You know, hold your. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you putting the seed in. You know what I'm saying? It's like you put it down, but then you're, like, creating this, like, up concept. So it's like, as above, so below, as within, so without. Like, there's always, like, this dynamic of not duality, but, like, this coupling, pairing. You're not gonna have one without the other. two things come together, and then that makes a whole. Like that makes a three, a surrounding. You know what I mean? That makes a tree. You know what I mean? Like that makes a goddamn being free. You know what I mean? That makes goddamn eyes and shit, so you can see. You know what I mean? Two eyes come together, and it creates a what? A whole. You know what I'm saying? One, yeah. For those people out there might be missing an eye or whatever the case may be, it's like you ain't gonna be able to get the full picture because you only seeing one half of it, like one side of it. So a lot of people in the world that be one sided. Man, I ain't gonna man, or two faced. Like Geminis get a bad rap of being two faced because maybe at times they're just trying to handle different images and different personality, different like you know what I'm saying, like clothes or skins. So it's like if you know you got different clothes to put on and shit, sometimes it's hard to like decide which one you want to wear. Or like you might be wearing a certain fit already and then maybe step out and go to the party, but you might have realized maybe you wasn't doing the correct astrology alignments and coordinating correctly with yourself. So maybe you put on like not the right color for the party or for the time of the day and shit. So you might have like motherfucker might have on like some type of beach attire and then fucking go to it's supposed to be like maybe a family party or some shit and everybody's wearing like fucking maybe he might have thought it was a beach party or something because it was like at the beach and then everybody there was wearing like just they regular like like they just fitted or something like they just at the beach that day like fitted like maybe heels on and shit like you didn't get the memo like it turned you was handling too much so sometimes that's where Gemini is like you just need to be like pick one idea like you might have too many ideas and shit. You can't be God, Gemini. Gemini, you can't be God, Gemini. You gotta figure it out, Gemini. You can't be God either. You ain't God either. You might have a bunch of faces and shit you could use and stuff. You might be a trickster. You got that Mercury, the Mercury sign too. Virgo's got a little tendency doing that also. Just more in the earthly material setting. You know what I'm saying? Y'all switch up on your family member real quick, man. Y'all Virgos, man, don't be doing that to y'all Gemini family members either, dude. It might be, I know it's a square, but like, don't be like y'all be cool one moment and then the Virgo they get around some new friend or some shit that they trying to help and save or some shit or some Virgo always trying to help somebody, save somebody. Like, chill out, Virgo. Damn. Not everybody even needs you like that. People don't even be asking you for help. And then here you come around and shit, and you be all offering your services and stuff. People take advantage of you, Virgo. That's why, Virgo, because you be like, man, nobody asked you for help. You might look at a Gemini a certain way, like Gemini's too light and free. Gemini don't got like a whole bunch of like Gemini might not have a whole bunch of people around them at any given moment. Gemini like to like sometimes need space to themselves and think. You know what I'm saying? Gemini not gonna like depending on the Gemini, like everybody got different moon signs and shit, different Mars qualities and shit. I'm just as far as the actions and shit, the Gemini gonna see shit a certain way, or even Gemini ascendants and shit like bruh. What do you mean? Like, bruh, I'm supposed to be your relative. I'm supposed to be like we actually related. Yet you treating this whole new stranger that I never even met before, you treating them like you like known each other forever or something, and you looking at me a certain way, like maybe you more Virgo be just thinking about how fucking maybe other people look at them. So that's kind of like what might make the Virgo look kind of nervous and as far as my experience. Goddamn, Virgo be like looking at me like, do you approve of my friend? And then I'd be like thinking to myself, like, nigga, you don't. I'm like looking at you like, do you approve of your friend? Virgo, we don't even be like a secret conversation going on with me and Virgos. I'd be like, nigga, do you approve of that person? Do you think that's a good person for you, Virgo? Or I'd be thinking some other shit like, really, Virgo? Don't you got 2 kids you need to take care of or some shit? Or don't you got kids, Virgo? How is it you making this new ass stranger off some whole new person? You making them more important than your already your already existing duties and responsibilities that you created with your like stressed out with your nervousness qualities, or just you having that, you know what I'm saying, that perfection kind of routine stuff. You was always trying to like do something perfect, but then like, nigga, did you forget about the shit you already like made? You can't just like leave things like that. You can't leave your work unfinished, Virgo. That's one thing. Like some Virgos have a tendency to like maybe start a bunch of projects and then they don't finish their project. They move on because it's that mutable earth kind of quality. So like it might be some shit like practically they may not have, say for example, like they like to draw or something. They might start drawing and shit, but then practically like they might not have been working the opposition, right, with the Pisces. Let's say they was trying to get in their opposition bag with that Pisces, and then but that's not like really like, you know what I'm saying? That's not naturally who they are. That's like their earth sign, but they might get too too dreamy, too like get that they gotta go to work and still keep working. You know what I'm saying? To maybe fund that. You know what I mean? That's like a lower octave Virgo. Like a higher octave Virgo go, I guess, know how to like equalize and balance out. Like, all right, I got to work on something to maybe like keep. See, I don't want to go into a whole bunch of shit because we in a time where money is just retarded and resources have been claimed. I don't want to go into a bunch of shit, but like a Virgo might get into that creative art bag and kind of like lose track maybe of what they was already doing, like as a routine. Like maybe they say they got like a hustle that they do. All right, for example, say like a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? He might rap or something. You know what I'm saying? And he might be goddamn rapping and shit in the booth and stuff, but then he might have like been in the booth focused and shit going hard, like it's cool, but he might have forgot like to balance that out and go and go. Yeah, he might have forgot to go back to the block or go back to the hustle, right? So his money started slowing up. You get what I'm saying? So like maybe there might have been some things he needed to do for that creative shit, doing the rapping, the Pisces side of it, the mutable like relating emotions and shit. But practically, he might have forgot that shit. I gotta pay the rent or something, or like shit. I gotta pay for the studio time and the money. You know what I'm saying? Like now I might be losing money because I've been spending more money in the booth. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the booth and shit, studio time, for example, but I ain't been out making money like I'd be doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be like shit like that people be in their own holes and shit. I know this. I'm gonna jump right back into the holy shit. This is how life works. We be flowing. We don't like be thinking logically. Like beep beep boop beep 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 off a script. I take notes and then I go. I don't. I know I'll be kind of all over the place a little bit, but it is what it is. But that would be like back to that real quick. That would be like the little like dynamic though between Gemini's and Virgos. Like, you know, like what the fuck, Virgo? Like, nigga, how long have I known you, Virgo? Like routinely and like, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see you like daily or weekly or monthly or at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like we was like supposed to be family members, or relatives, and shit, or like we know each other enough. How you gonna give so much credence to some whole stranger that I don't even know? Now you might, I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? That's between the Virgos and themselves. I ain't trying to figure it out. But it'd be like, what the fuck, Virgo? And then that person might probably backstab them or like be a whole situation they might get involved with and it'd be some whole other shit. You know what I mean? Like, or they have a baby with some female that just wasn't even for them. It's like, bro, what did you not learn from the previous? Did you not learn from the previous times you was doing pattern? It's like they be here to learn a pattern thing. They not like Virgos are here to learn about patterns because they may not have like been on that in their past life. So they here to be more pattern oriented, to be more detailed oriented. So that's like they challenge. Like that don't mean that they gonna be good at it. That don't mean that they're gonna use their power for some maybe more godly purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like who knows? It just depends, but everybody different type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, okay, but yeah, back to the holy thing real quick, like, and that's relatable because person could be in their own holy thinking it makes sense to themselves to like, all right, I'm gonna bring this stranger or this person I just met around my relative, right? They might think that makes sense to themselves. But at the end of the day, like this shit goes so deep, how the shadow government got shit sewed up. People be so programmed and indoctrinated in so many layers and shit. It's like people don't even know how they be relating to themselves in each moment. So that's like this is the meat of the video, pause no homo. This is the substance of the video. Like people be lost in their own Batman jail cell prison that they made for themselves, and it'd be other spirits there that also did the same thing, right? So everybody be like in their own jail, their own mind, their own hell, because a J is like a you know what I mean, like a Hefe, or like, you know what I'm saying? If you go do Jose, right? The J is kind of like an H or silent, right? So that J is like a hook. So you know what I'm saying? So like everybody be in their own like whatever they created. You know what I'm saying? You gonna meet your maker. You gonna lay in that bed that you made. You can't escape it. That's your world that you making for your own world and your own body and shit, your own organization, your own company. You get it? Like your own. That's your business. That's your team. Like that's your family. That's your relatives. So it's like we're all doing this internal thing, and then it plays out externally. If y'all peep game, you know what I'm saying? So like you might go through experiences that play out as like this was just a interaction you had with yourself, and you might get lost in the thinking you the body, and in the moments and shit, and thinking people are saying whatever they saying and expressing whatever they expressing, and you fail to realize like everybody was taught English first of all, and everybody got lost into a world. It seems that we all just lost into our own mind, and we think we know what we talk about. Yet some niggas came over here hundreds of years ago and so we all still speak in native dialogue. If you you speak in the native tongue, the native dialect. Dialogue. That's a new word, dialogue. Dialect and tongue. So the dialogue. The dialogue. And so it's like if you from a whole different region of the world, your dialect is gonna be different, and you probably gonna have a hard time understanding me and receiving what I'm expressing because the way your ear organs was fashioned, and it's deep, dude. This is some deep stuff. Like people, I have like a whole bunch of misunderstandings with people, and I be speaking clearly. I try not to speak too loud, and I try not to speak too soft, and I try to be direct. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to speak slower for people. And it's like people still don't catch my message, what I'm saying. I got the Lilith and Gemini, Chiron and Virgo. Like I'm not gonna go into my life, but this be some shit for real. Like, people being their own holy though. If you watch this live video, if you got to this point, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Most people just they don't got the endurance to go the distance. It's like we in a world where everybody is like believing somebody else's plagiarism and cosplaying and copying like cops. You know what I'm saying? Copying. Like you're a copy machine. Like the cops, the police, like they're literally cosplaying a native that was on these lands and was probably like a chief or a warrior or somebody in the village or some type of security guard or like. But these were just roles in life that people took upon themselves. Nobody told anybody that I needed to patrol the village land area and make sure that my shit was cool because there might be certain animals that want to come eat your crops. It's deep. I'm not gonna go into all that, but everybody be in their own holy and shit, their own darkness. you got to figure out how to get out of your own hole. Just like the scene, you got to like somehow separate your lights and shit. There's like steps. You know what I'm saying? It's something you're encapsulated in, and it's all heavy. You know what I mean? The scene was like the prison's like this, all these stone. It's like heavy wall, and like you down in the crevices of the earth, which is like you know what I'm saying? So it's like layers. It's layers of shapes and forms you're in. It's not just like this one shape or form, a hole. No, the hole consists of. It had to, you know what I'm saying? It had to be like it took a process to even dig that hole and even carve it out a certain way. Even the prison to be made like that. Like, y'all, it's deep. And then the whole team is like, everybody made it. And everybody's adding on to that. Spirits that wasn't born yet. Like, there's spirits that ain't even alive right now in a body, but they dying to get here. And they can't wait to get here. So that they could express whatever is wherever they coming from. And it might be some whole new shit y'all ain't ready for. It's some shit. So everybody in their own hole and then don't really know how they relate to themselves, don't know themselves in the mirror because you're in your own darkness. So it's like if you're trying to emit light to see yourself, but you just keep creating more darkness because it's like you're already in a hole. It's like making more light don't solve the problem, but as a spirit, it's like this is what we have to do because you have to release. It's like you're a creator, so it's like you're trying to create a new mind to get out of yourself. In a sense, I think that's where we're at. Like we're in this like stuck mind that like you're trying to get out of this mind, and it's like each cycle rotation day that goes by, day night, you know what I mean, heartbeat concept. It's like each day it's like you just keep getting more lost in layers that you're creating, and it's like at some point you got to retract and stop adding on so much, right? Or at least try to redirect. I don't know, it's like some shit you got to get out of though. So it's like that's really how I'm looking at shit right now. Like you got the holy, somebody own their own soul, their own holy, their own whole, their own hell, their own body, their own mind, their own world. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the holy, which would be like the teamwork makes the dream work. Everybody's own individual holies coming together, and then us at that point, at the existence point, or however you know what I'm saying, whatever point you was at, and your relative, your team, your somebodies and shit, that would have been like the type of body y'all made, or did y'all organization, or your family, or your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own like different little like tribes and shit, families and stuff. So like I'm a part of, at least in this lifetime, I know I created again, like I created like a summer time of mind, like a summer kind of body. So I come from like that water tribe, the water family. You know what I'm saying? If y'all watch like Avatar, the cartoon, you know, like the water tribe, fire tribe, or air tribe and earth tribe. That's a whole show about the natives and shit. Like y'all need to pay y'all, like they owe. Come on, stop playing. Everything is like native and shit, pretty much. The natives, and then even the natives was spread out spread out and went to other ends. That was even agreed upon. Like some natives went the first foreign exchange student was a native and wasn't a student. It was more like being the foreign exchange teacher / student, if anything. It wasn't just like some dude going somewhere to learn somebody else's shit. No, these niggas didn't even have anything. So natives had to go to the other lands and bring culture there because that's what people needed. They devastated their lands over there. They needed like to rebuild to stay alive. Otherwise, they whole like parliament of a rulership system was gonna like it would have been finished. You get it? So in a sense, the Americans that came here, the Pilgrim man and shit at the time, in a sense, it was like they was like on that like a outer space mission. Like they did that. Like they think that that's something that people are gonna get on rocket ship. No, it's like they already did that. They know what they doing at this point. They know that they don't really they from somewhere down the line because it was a whole bunch of mixing going on. So this white man is really just a after the fact type of like creature. You know what I'm saying? They really shouldn't even be trying to play God because they're the last one that was anywhere. They was the way down the line, so far away that you was never God. You know what I mean? To the point of bird just took a shit on the ground and splat. What's that confirmation bird shit? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, bird shit. Confirmation. It didn't get on YouTube. That's right here. Confirmation bird splat. But yeah, man. So you be like people be in their own hole and shit. Don't really see how they look. Don't really know how they relate, right? But yet think they're outside and going out about and going to work and doing this, that, and the third and shit. But it's just like you don't even know who you are and how you relate to yourself first, because you in a black hole, you lost into your own awareness and can't even really understand the depths of that and the level, the layers of that. But you hear in a human body, having a human experience. You know what I'm saying? But you don't really know like how you got here. That's a spirit that's lost for real. Are you serious? You don't remember, like, you popped out of a butthole though. So you had to come from somewhere. You don't know where you came from. So that's like where the Indian mind be like, where'd you come from, nigga? You don't believe in what I'm saying? Then go to hell. Like, that's where you going. You going to your own world where you don't believe in shit. Bitch, I'm not playing. You're not finna act like me and then wear a suit and wear a costume. And then there's spirits being that energy that'll straight break you down, just like Bane did in the movie. And then Bruce Wayne, the police nigga, Batman, had to realize, damn, I just got my ass beat by God. Like, God just beat my ass. God just used a vessel and used somebody to beat the shit out of me. I was not ready for that. Next, I thought that's what I want. That is not. I was not ready for all that smoke. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that type of shit. So it's like you be in your own hole though. So it's like God, the holy is like the great spirit, and then the holy be like the holy ones. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? The spaces that was like here before you, but not like in a linear concept, but just more so like there's always some type of guidance, type of